Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And it is Wednesday, and it's going to be a great short week for those who did take the holiday and maybe even got yesterday off. So there's no reason for you not to be happy today. But if you are a person who doesn't like their job or doesn't like the relationship and is not as happy as you could be, then you're tuned into the right place, because that's what this show is about. More hope and happiness as I try to cajole you into choosing happiness. And that's what the show's about. So there's no gossip, no scandal. I used to say no K words, no Kardashian talk, but apparently Kim is doing some great things. So I was asked by a friend not to say that anymore, but you get what I mean. I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And for those of you who are stumbling on me for the first time, hard to believe, but if that is true, I was the once a week primetime host of the same show, but in a Friday afternoon drive time slot. And I got a nice little promotion, so I get to splatter more hope and happiness on you every single morning now from 8 to 9. And thank you for continuing to tune in, getting some really nice messages from people about the show, that there's no angry ranting, but there are tools to help you be happier, to help you to choose happiness. So in the What's Up Doc segment today, I thought I would talk about something that does really get in the way of our happiness, and that is perfectionism. So if you are one of the people who have been writing in and they wanted me to talk about what's wrong with perfectionism, what's wrong with working hard, what's wrong with, staying late, and it's really not fair that people who don't work as hard as me get a promotion. It's not fair that if someone knows someone else, that's the way they're getting promoted, and it's not fair. And I work my butt off, and I'm always, I never have time for me. I'm my own worst enemy. Nobody's harder on me than I am. If I get 99 compliments and one insult, I focus on the insult, and I work so hard. Life is not fair. So if you're one of those people who are listening and going, that kind of sounds like me, or that kind of sounds like somebody I know, names not given to protect the guilty, then I want you to think about this one question. And that is, if I can't approve of myself, if I can't cut myself some slack, if I can't be my own best friend, I came up with this last week. How do you go from being your own worst enemy to your own best friend? Then how do you ever expect to feel okay in life? Take a breath. In through the nose and releasing, soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. Another deep breath in and releasing all the stories and the drama. And one last deep breath in, connecting with me through Chi Eternal Energy, the breath of life. I know that sounds a little woo-woo, but I use these 3 cleansing breaths all the time to remind us that the quickest way to feel better is to stop thinking the worst about everyone and everything around you, including yourself. And that's what perfectionism is. Perfectionism is a dis-ease with life. A dis-ease with life. So if you're not happy with yourself, if you're constantly criticizing yourself, if you're constantly saying, I am my own worst enemy, I have 2 words for you. Stop it. I say this from stage when I do motivational speaking around the world. It's the question that, I have not done one speech, and I do quite a few speeches, especially hashtag BC19, the time before COVID. I traveled probably, 45 weeks out of the year. So 45 out of 52 weeks I'm on the road speaking. And that one question that I ask is, how many of you say you're your own worst enemy? And everybody will raise their hand. So I'm hoping that if you're listening and you are a perfectionist, that you today, what is it? July 4th or Sunday 5th, 6th, 7th. Today is July 7th. That today is the day that you just stop identifying yourself as someone who's got to be perfect, because it's a life sentence to unhappiness. Perfectionism is a life sentence for unhappiness. Why? Because you are saying things like, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I remember myself when I was in my 20s. I'll be happy when I have $1 million in the bank. Or actually it started like, I'll be happy when I have $100,000 in the bank. And then it was 200,000. There was 5. And then I'll be happy when I finish my graduate degree at the time. I'll be happy when I finish school. I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I have children. I'll be happy when I get that big house. I'll be happy when I get that second or third car. I'll be happy when, and that when keeps moving. Or I'll be happy when my parents are healthy again, or my kids are not addicted to drugs, or I'll be happy when my kids get into a good school. I'll be happy when they start making money. So you get my drift here, right? If you're a perfectionist and you're saying, I'll be happy when, and that when keeps moving, guess what? You're never gonna be happy, because it's not possible. You keep changing the rules. So I am asking you to drink my rose-colored Kool-Aid today as you come back from America's birthday and your own celebration of freedom. This is your celebration of personal freedom. Are you free to choose happiness by not choosing perfectionism? So the day that you give yourself some slack, if you can be 88% perfect, 88% perfect. Why 88%? Same reason why I want you to be 88% happy. You cannot be 100% happy or you're dead. We have to have contrast. So you can be 88% perfect. You can still try to do the best that you can. It's really interesting when I give this speech to perfectionists, they're like, oh, no. I remember when I was consulting with a controller in an organization, not a control freak, but her title was controller. She's like, no. We can't do 88%, maybe 98%, but not 88%. So yes, of course, if you're a pilot, you don't want your pilot to be 88% perfect. You want him to have 100% hit rate. But I'm talking about in general, overall, as human beings who are stuck in human doings and trying to be perfect, it's a miserable existence. So when you can get to the point where you can just be 88% fabulous, and when you screw up, instead of beating yourself up so much that you feel like you have to go back to the beginning, you don't have to go back to the beginning. You're still 88% fabulous. And when we feel that way about ourselves, then guess what? We feel that way about other people, and we're a lot easier to deal with. So have I convinced you? That's the What's Up Doc Happy 88 challenge for today. Drop the perfectionism. Give yourself a break. Choose happiness. And I promise you'll feel better. We'll be right back. You've tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. When we come back, we're going to learn about what Seal Beach Police Department is doing to help better the current processes when the police protect and serve. I'm changing it to serve and protect. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It, the morning show here on KCAA AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, the station that leaves no listener behind, an exclusive home to the Asian Oprah. That's me, Dr. Marissa. I was actually introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah by Michael Bernard Beckwith. So just in case you were wondering how I got known as that, and I'm grateful for the honorable moniker as I continue to try to continue what she's done for bringing hope and positivity and a great message to the masses. She introduced spirituality, I think, to the masses. She was very different than Jerry Springer as a as a host, bringing in the positive side of people, and that's what I try to do, because life is way too short to be complaining all the time, to be angry all the time, to hate all the time, to be hashtag justifiably ignorant all the time. And that's why I have this show, to bring you what is good about people, what is good about our planet, what is good about our country. So, not saying that there aren't things that we need to work at. And my next guest is case in point exactly that. Some of you may remember, I think it was my first full week, I brought in a doctor, Dr. Anshu Batra, who I met at a great location covering event that I also met the Super Bowl doctor who, he was there also helping with community, Dr. Robert Miller. And that group, also spearheaded by law enforcement, I think it was the Sheriff's Department. I see so many people, I apologize if I can't get my people straight, but they were providing food for the community, for those who are temporarily suffering food shortage. And Dr. Anshu Batra also came on to talk about her son has autism, and she is concerned. We've had some very visible mistakes where law enforcement did not know and use the same methods that they normally use on the other regular population. You know, that someone with special needs may not understand their commands, and that leads to big problems. So I got called to cover a story at Seal Beach where I actually raised two beautiful kids. My daughters were raised there, Magaw, Oak, Los Al High, and they have a great program that I'm going to let Lieutenant Nick Nicholas from Seal Beach Police Department tell us about. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live. You know me as the Asian Oprah, and I'm actually back in my little hometown that I raised two of my daughters. Well, both of my daughters, and they were actually in the Explorer program, so it's kind of like a homecoming to find out that the Seal Beach Police Department is doing something really great in order to help us with all of the encounters that we've been having with special needs
and police, and some criticism that they have been getting at a higher up level. But the great news is there's one solution that makes a lot of sense. So I've asked the PIO here at the Seal Beach Police Department to come and have a little soundbite with me. Please introduce yourself and tell me what's going on.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nick Nicholas. I'm a lieutenant and the public information officer with the Seal Beach Police Department. I'm here today to talk about a very wonderful program that we've just recently implemented. It's the Special Needs Person Sticker. So essentially what these are stickers that we've designed and that are available for free to any member of the public. Take home and place with them either on the front door of their house or on a window of their car that essentially alerts officers that a person inside the home or the vehicle might have special needs.
Beautiful. And that's important because?
Well, we receive annual training on interacting with people with special needs, especially those with autism or other type of spectrum disorders. And we go through training that deals with de-escalation and ways to avoid having to use force. The issue is it's not always easy to know when a person might have special needs. So anything that a family can do to help alert law enforcement that a person might have special needs is going to give us the opportunity to take a step back and understand that when we're trying to communicate with a person that might be having difficulty understanding us, it's not because they're choosing not to understand us or they're trying to be difficult or don't want to interact with the police. It's because that they might have a special need and just unable to assist with that.
So the sticker is a great idea. How did this come about?
Well, thank you. So the corporal that created this, his name is Joe Garcia, and he actually has a son that has special needs himself. So as he goes through the training that we go through every year, he thinks about how his son may have interactions with law enforcement in the future. So he came up with the idea, we helped him design the sticker, and then actually consulted with some teachers that educate people with special needs and also families in Seal Beach that have special needs children themselves, and asked them, do you think that this would be a good program for the police department to implement? And overwhelmingly they said yes.
Wow.
For that.
Well, I think it's a phenomenal idea. I'd like you to, I'll read this out loud. City of Seal Beach Police Department, a person with special needs lives here. Be aware that simple directions may not be understood. And I just love the fact that this is really one of the solutions to mental health and law enforcement. And instead of blaming everybody and pointing fingers, we're actually coming up with solutions to help that interaction. So because of that, Seal Beach Police Department gets Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award that I give not to everybody, but to recognize that, this is a blue life that matters, obviously. Law enforcement does good, and we're balancing out all of the negative attention and appreciating those who do protect and serve, or as I want to change it to serve and protect. Thank you so much for spending the time. I'm all about sharing what's good, what's right with people, what's right with the world. This is no different. Great story. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is something I do at the end of every show. See if you'll do it. Mayor Garcetti just did it. He loved it. Here we go. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace.
And I actually have one of those stickers here. So if you are in Seal Beach listening, I know I still am in contact with my fabulous Seal Beach moms, Lonnie and Penny and Jackie. And you know of someone who has special needs that could use a sticker, just let me know, drmarissa.life, and I'll get that out to you. All right. So that's the important stuff. I have a little challenge for you this week, this week. It is Wednesday. You only have a half a week to do it. I want you to go out and find out something that you did not know about what good your community police department is doing, because I do believe we need to balance out all of the things that we're talking about. Yes, there are very visible signs of how the police are not doing a great job. Obviously, Derek, who killed George Floyd, is the most visible example of that. But I want to balance us out, because it's not about, all cops are bad, all law enforcement's bad. The system has some opportunity for improvement. However, I don't want us to lose sight of police are here to protect and serve and protect. And there are many who are doing an amazing job. So I would like you to find out what your police department does do instead of criticizing them for what they don't do. That's the challenge for the rest of the week in my eternal quest to be in gratitude and appreciation. There's so much blame and finger pointing right now in America. It's so difficult to come to solution when we're angry and hating and only looking for what's wrong. It's not that I'm sticking my head in the sand. Please believe me. I understand the things that are wrong, but I think it's also important to have that approach of finding out what is good, because on that energy, we're much more receptive to solutions. As an organizational psychologist, I think some of you know that's what my degree is in, and I consult in corporations on things like power, politics, miscommunication, leadership, teamwork, non-teamwork, valuing diversity, that it's so important right now to use that. It was popular probably 10 years ago. It's called appreciative inquiry. And it is a tool that organizational psychologists use to try to connect people inside the organization so we're all working in the same direction, not by tearing down, not by functional silos. Sales hates marketing, marketing hates engineering, engineering hates manufacturing. All of those are they hurt the organization. Appreciative inquiry is a way in finding ways to find solutions, but by appreciating instead of finger pointing and this kind of salute who did it and the only looking at problems. Okay, so I'm trying to apply that doing my organizational work and trying to apply it to the issues we have at hand in either saying blue lives matter and all cops are good and don't criticize us, to all cops are bad. There's a lot of gun violence. When I interviewed the LA Sheriff Alex Villanueva, one cop a week is being killed from gun violence, from hatred. So we've got to stem that flow and get to the balance. So I'm hoping that makes sense to you by finding something you appreciate about your police department in your local community. And when you do your homework, you get rewarded. Go to drmarissa.life, tell me what's good, and you get an Asian Oprah giveaway. And this week, the Asian Oprah giveaway is my children's book called Mommy, What Are Feelings? And every feeling has a taste, touch, sight, and sound. It can be downloaded like a coloring book so your kids can talk and draw about their feelings. All right? Good. We'll be right back with more on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. Don't go away. We'll be right back on KCAA AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, the station that leaves no listener behind. And welcome back. You are tuned into Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And it is Wednesday, coming back out of a holiday weekend. I hope you had the best July 4th, especially with much less COVID restrictions, and you had fun wherever you were and whoever you were with. And you know that I'm all about trying to find what's good that's happening around, what's good with people, what's good with what's going on. And I thought today, for our question of the day, we would tackle something that a lot of people are doing things about, whether it's finding a new job or debating going back to an old job. So if you're someone who really didn't like your job, hashtag BC19, the time before COVID, I have a little advice for you, even though sometimes I don't take my own advice. But this one, I think I can. So take a listen. You're currently working?
I am.
And you don't love your job?
No, not super passionate about it.
Okay. And how long have you been doing it?
Probably like 5 years.
5 years? Okay. And is there anything that is working or that you do enjoy about your current job?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the people that I work with, and I enjoy what I do, and it's nice to feel, that you're good at something, and that's how I do feel about my job. So
good.
It's always helpful.
All right. And so is there anything that could be added to your current job that would bring it up the scale?
Yeah.
Okay. Promotion?
But we have be like finding a new job though. Like same job but a different place.
Different place. Okay. So it is actually not
much I can do here.
I'm sorry?
Not too much I can do here.
Okay. So you've reached, sort of your cap where you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So the quickest way for you to move into the next chapter that I know of is to be in 80% or 88% gratitude and appreciation for where you are. So this is one of those balance tools or principles that I live by, part law of attraction, part just knowing that the universe is friendly and that there's many chapters in your book, just like there's many chapters in your book of romance, there's many chapters in your book of careers and jobs. So often people get stuck and they can't move on because they're always looking at what is wrong with where they are. So the first thing I'd like you to do for the next 21 days, because it takes 21 days to create a good habit, is to start every morning on the way to work and count out loud 8 things that you appreciate about your current job or your current thing. And I want you to be specific, not just the people that work there. Like, I love the way that, who's your favorite person at work? Jesus. I love the way that Jesus is helpful. Is he helpful? Funny?
Right.
Okay,
Super helpful.
Yeah, he's helpful.
Yeah.
So I love the way Jesus is helpful. I love the way that it was easy to get this job. I love the way that I get recognized with, your last compliment. What was your last compliment at work? I made a good drink.
Okay,
so. You made a good drink. So I love the way that I get complimented on my drink. I love the way that I don't have to wear, a set uniform that I don't like. Okay, so you get the drift, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you start doing this 8 times in the morning on the way into work and 8 times on the way after you leave work, what's going to happen is you're going to create a field of attraction to attract what it is that's next. So instead of, I hate this job, I don't like being here, I need to go to a different place, I don't know how to get, I don't want to interview, I don't like looking, do you see how all of those statements, where they might be true, bring you to a place of low vibrating, like you don't feel good, right? All those statements, when I was saying them, you don't feel good, correct? Right. So you want to use your power, your ability to choose best feeling thoughts or better feeling statements in order to move the attraction factor for yourself. Does that make sense?
Right, like affirmations.
Affirmations, but sometimes people, I love my job. Yeah, right. You really don't. So let's not lie. Okay. So the gratitudes that I set you on is actual true statements, right? Because you really do like Jesus. You really do like some things about your job. So I just want you to take the power of focus and only see those things that are working. Not to say you're going to stay there, but what happens when you focus on what is good, then good goes, yay, we want good, we want more good. And then things begin to accidentally happen. And I have not met one of my clients who I coach who has not had amazing things happen when they adopt this one practice. So I don't think you're that weird that you're going to be an exception to the rule. All right. So I can hear a shift even in the way you're laughing. So your biggest work is to stay in a different place than you are. So because you are vibrating at that, what did you say, 4?
Mm-hmm.
You're attracting 4. I want you to vibrate at 8 so that you attract 8. You get this principle, right? It's simple, but it's not easy because we as human beings, of our 50,000 thoughts, 75% of them are negative. That's just, we're wired, right?
How are you removing that? Like, how do you
it's a discipline.
About just removing that, let alone putting in the good one?
It's a discipline. It's a discipline. I just shared with you an easy tool to do that. Instead of turning the radio on and listening to the news in your car on the way to work, which usually has you going, what's wrong with people? Right? Right?
Yeah.
You shut it off and you take the breath just the way we breathe, right? Was that easy? Yes, I just told you to take a breath. We breathe 3 times and then we do 8 gratitudes. And then when you talk to people on the phone, don't pick negative people to call.
Yeah.
Pick positive people to call, right? And then when you come home, same thing. That's the only change that I'm asking you to do. And what happens is you begin to strengthen your muscle to focus on things that are positive. Because your statement just then, how do I do that? Well, I told you to do that. I just gave you an example, but you can't hear it because your habit is already at that 4. So the good news is
you're right.
You can change your habit. You're hearing it now, right? Because I just got you to a 6. You're hearing it now. So I'm not asking you to change who you are. You are, at the core of who you are, a fundamentally happy, joyous, positive, creative, contributing, generous, loving person. That's who Nicole is, at the core of who she is. Everybody, all 7.3 billion of us on the planet are that way. That is our fundamental being. However, we've developed bad habits. One, to be fair, everybody is human. And when you're human, we have a tendency to focus on what's not working. Why? Because we're looking for threats, right? That's the survival of the fittest. We're looking at what's wrong. So that's our natural tendency. So we do have to do a little bit of work, a little bit of discipline to shift that. But it's as simple as first thing in the morning, checking yourself and saying, okay, I have a choice. I can think about all the bad things that happened yesterday, or I can say yesterday was yesterday, and I'm going to start the day with gratitude. Dr. Wayne Dyer, 5 things. I'm an overachiever. I say 8 things. 8's a lucky number in Chinese. It's a homonym for good fortune. So I say 8 things. I'm specifically asking you to say 8 things about your work because that's the one area we want to shift. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
21 days. So 21 days, 8. What are you going to do for 21 days?
I'm going to do 8 things that I truly appreciate. I'm going to be specific on the way there and on the way home.
See, there you go.
That's a lot of gratitude.
There you go. There's 8. Next thing, and this is the fun one. Take 50. Do you have 15 spare minutes a day?
Yes.
Okay. 15 minutes a day. I want you to sit at the computer, and I don't want you to work on your resume, and I don't want you to go to monster.com. I want you to just have some fun. I call it Google Play or Christina Play because my niece Christina works at Google. So you just sit at the computer and you take the breath again and you go, what word should I put in the box? So what keywords are interesting to me today? And then you put them in. And what happens is when you're vibrating high and then when you put in intentions, oh, I'd love to see, is there a, what is your keyword of someone looking for you to do work? Like what's your area, what's your field?
Well, like bartending or so.
Okay, so what's your so what's your favorite place that you would love to visit?
What's my favorite where?
Anywhere around the world.
Oh boy. Paris.
Okay. Beautiful. So you put in bartending Paris and just see what comes up. There's no search. It's not a search bar. It's a play bar. And you're just going to play. And you're just going to do this. You put an alarm on at 18 minutes, put an alarm on for 18 minutes and just play and see what comes up. So when my clients do this, they go, oh my God, you're not going to believe. And I say, yes, I will. And they say, I found this project or this job or this da-da-da-da-da-da. And the world becomes this limitless source of abundant next chapters. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So 21 days, and just email me and tell me what happened. Okay?
I can do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's been delightful. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you get some applause. And wasn't that great advice? Even though I gave it to her myself. I love it when I actually, agree with myself. I know that sounds funny, but laughter is my favorite sound on the planet. I just went and did my Google Play myself for you. Now that you're back from your holiday, there are so many job fairs out there. And the great news about the trending shortage of employees is that you kind of get to choose. So this is your time before you jump back into something that you didn't like. There's so many possibilities. And if you are not happy where you are, please do take that advice because it works. And if that caller sounded like you, try it. Do what I asked her to do. Do the gratitude sandwich. Do the Google Play. And right now, the best thing about the job market is the best thing about the job market is there's a lot of opportunity right now. It is an employee market. So I've never seen so many incentives for people to apply at places. So enjoy this. Take your time. Look at what's possible. See how many offers you can have. Be like a house. See if you can get the highest bidder to go beyond what you are worth or what you made before. So it's kind of like the housing market right now. Have fun with it. See if you can get people to bid you up on you. I truly want us to go back to not normal, because the normal set point before was absolutely not where I wanted to be. And it's interesting. I'll share with you. I had a LinkedIn editor contact me and ask me to write about meaning at work, because I am an organizational psychologist. And what I wrote about that's getting a lot of eyeballs is something I'd like to share with you. And that is, gone are the days when most people don't want to go to work. And it goes against something that is called the meaning of work. So creating meaning in work was something that, in the old days, people were proud to work for Ford. They were proud to say, I am making something that's going to help transportation for the masses. Working for Apple was, I'm part of this new thing to create ease in technology, ease in life with technology. When was the last time you heard someone who actually bragged about where they were working? So before hashtag BC19, people were not happy. And, where do you work? So what airline do you work for? It was really, it's changed. When I do vision and valuing workshops or facilitation in companies, or we do annual strategic planning, the whole concept of why are you here and what is your goal? Increasing shareholder value is not a very exciting goal. And if you're in a business where the hierarchy is so based on theory X, which is basically, do what I say, or there's the door, that kind of horrible bossing, the bad leadership, so that nobody really wants to be there. They live for their weekends. By the way, your weekends are only 2 out of a work week of a total week of 7. So you're only happy for 2 days of your week. That's not what we want to go back to. So one of the opportunities right now is to go back to that place of, what is my company, or the company that wants me to work for them? How am I part of something that's important? And I would have all leaders in C-suite ask that question right now. You can't ask people who take pride in what they do, who want to make a difference, who want to give or be part of meaning in work where they spend most of their week, increasing shareholder value. That it doesn't, maybe it's a paycheck, but that's it. And you're going to give me the paycheck probably for what I'm doing with not my whole heart in it. And so don't expect me to be creative. So I think companies really have to look at how they are setting up their environment. So this is a chance for organizations that have great company culture for appreciation, for continuous learning, for learning organization, for team building, for all of valuing diversity, for think tank type of environments. You're going to thrive, because companies are going to, individuals who want to do that are going to want to work there. Right now, Google is a place that people are really proud that they're working there, but they've spent money and invested a lot of time, blood, sweat, and tears to create a culture that people are proud of working there. My niece, Christina, who I just got to visit for July 4th weekend, it was difficult to get a job there. So here's your chance. Take a minute, take stock of what your skill set is. If you need to beef up your skill set because you want to work at a company that has meaning, then do so. That might be your next step. We are in a world where a lot of jobs do require special certificates and special degrees. And we also live in a world now where it's easier than ever, thanks to COVID, hashtag COVID silver lining, where you can actually, get some degrees and certificates with scholarship money. There's so many opportunities out there now. Please, before you go back to normal, watch my film, the trailer to the new PPP, Post-Pandemic Possibilities. It's possible that we don't have to go to jobs that we hate. It's possible that rat race and dog eat dog and climbing the corporate ladder where you basically kick somebody in the face, one winner and 10 or 100 applicants that lose. There's got to be different ways. If you're a corporate leader right now, I can come and talk to you and have some novel ideas on how to restructure your organization so that it works. It's a win-win for everybody. That's my job. That's my job by education. And I love doing that work because it's about less stress, more joy, and more happiness at work. All right, so I'll get off my soapbox there. But I am hoping that if you're listening, we're not talking about how, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. We're not talking about, who's marrying who or who's divorcing who or, who's, unhappy with their conservatorship. It's none of your business. Your business is your life. And your life is your reality show. So I'm hoping that you are taking care of you, acting on your own behalf, doing what's necessary that puts you on the best foot forward, going back after this pandemic, okay? So I expect you all to be Google playing. I expect you all to be taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. Those of you who don't know what that means, it's another Happy 88 tool. 8 specific things you're grateful for in the morning before you pick up your phone and start scrolling and get messed up in the quicksand of news stories that really mean nothing to you. It's not helping you be happier. And then at the end of the day, and this is the ticket, this is the most important, the bottom of the bun is the most important, the foundation piece of gratitude sandwich that's going to give you the nutrition that you need for a happier life is, what do you appreciate about yourself? So gratitude about anything in the morning, but 8 things that you are specifically appreciative about yourself. Because like I said about perfectionism earlier, the dis-ease in life stems from ourselves and how we look at ourselves. That's why we're at the end of the show. And I say to end almost every show, if I remember, and all my interviews that I've gotten police captains and the mayors now to do with me and a board of supervisor, Janice Hahn. This is it. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. It all starts here, boo. It all starts here, baby. Hopefully, you've enjoyed another scintillating episode of Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere, the station, home, the exclusive home to the Asian Oprah, and the one that leaves no listener behind, especially you. Dr. Marissa reporting live from my living room, wishing you the best day ever.